So I started doing a lot of research, because obviously have learned the Quran as a kid. I had a very good teacher. I would know how to read and write in Arabic and read the Quran.
Yeah.
But in terms of understanding all of it, I was really far in terms of the document and everything. So I was like, okay, I actually need to know, because I would ask women around me, and they would all have different answers because they did not know as well. They just had ideas about it. Some would tell you that you wear the hijab when you're coming from the Hajj.
What's
The
Hajj?
Hajj is the Muslim pilgrimage that we do in Mecca.
The Mecca. Okay.
Yes.
I also studied in like more or less 50-50 or I don't know, a Muslim school, and some of the guys in primary school were Muslim. So every other, I don't know which month was that, I just forgot because it's a long time. They used to be excited about this Mecca trip. So they were not going in Mecca, but we used to say, okay, they were going in Mecca, but what they were going to is the Hajj.
Yes. So as a Muslim, if you have the means,
that's where Muhammad is buried, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you actually, it's where we have it's our prayer direction. When we pray, the direction is Mecca.
Oh, you have to face that side.
Yes, it used to be Jerusalem, but it's Mecca now. So
Can you repeat that? It used to be
Jerusalem.
So Jerusalem, where it is right now, it's not Jerusalem.
No, our prayer direction used to
be in Jerusalem.
We used to pray towards Jerusalem,
which is the opposite side.
Yes, and it did change at some point.
And thinking of this, Jerusalem is on the south of Mecca, right?
Oh, I do not know the position of Jerusalem compared to Mecca. I was not there at the time.
No, I mean, if you think about it, it's in which country is it in? Is it Oman? Some country on top of Jerusalem.
No idea.
Yeah, I'll figure that out, because now I'm like, even the mosque, the way people maybe pray, it's built according to that and all that. I think maybe I need to ask you this now. Any person who lives fully, or any person who is alive, they're made of three things: body, mind, and soul, or body, mind, and spirit. And it sounds like in your high school years is when you started becoming conscious about your spiritual rather than your religion. You are Muslim for a long time, which is religion. And now you're curious, like, why am I Muslim? How should I live like a Muslim? Do you think you're getting more spiritual, or you're just abiding to the religion's rules and regulations?
So it was less about, it started like that. It was like, why are some Muslim women wearing the hijab, and why are some of them not wearing it? So then I started doing the research, and I'm like, okay, this is why we're supposed to wear the hijab. This is actually
the research
mandatory.
Was in the Quran?
Yes, the Quran and the Sunnah, which is basically the sayings and the actions reported of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions and the people around him. So that's when I learned it's written in the Quran. We're supposed to wear the hijab. And I'm like, okay, very interesting. Then I keep doing some research, and I'm like, okay, then I have Christian friends. I'm in a Catholic school. Why am I not Catholic? Then I start looking into it. Then I start reading the Bible. Then I start, finding the similarities between the Quran and the Bible and all of that. And I'm like, okay, why not? Why am I not Jewish? Okay, let me look at that.
They were Jewish in your class?
No, very rare.
Okay.
We did not have. It was very rare. And at that point, I don't think I had met a Jewish person in middle school. No. Yeah, but I did start doing some research. Like, okay, I'm not Jewish. Then I started comparing, and I'm like, this is interesting. Okay, what is there? Okay, why are Muslims doing this and the others are doing that? Okay, no. Okay, looking into it, and then I was convinced, because obviously I was still praying, doing my prayers, but I was like, I have the responsibility to be conscious about what I'm doing, and I need to have my intentions clear. And I think every Muslim at some point gets to that. Because obviously you're born into a Muslim family, but at some point you become conscious, and the religion is you are to follow it. It's not your parents that are doing it. You have the free will. And you have to choose.
Do you think, and that's what I was asking, because you're born a Muslim, right? But at some point now you become spiritually conscious. I think that's what you're calling conscious, because now you're like questioning things, trying to find out, am I living right? Is my spirit nourished? Now you do the research. You are more informed. You make conscious decisions that of course, they're supported by the way the religion is teaching me, and even confirm and with different other religions that there's these similarities, there are these differences, and I think I want to follow this way.
Yes, like this makes more sense to me. I'm going there.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So you start now wearing a hijab. No,
that's not when I start wearing the hijab.
That's interesting.
I'm still learning, making some research. Living my life.
Yeah, this is now high school.
This is now high school.
Yeah, did you go partying?
Well, I went to a nightclub once. My parents were actually very open about me trying and testing things. So I think that's also why I was not rebelling crazily, because I have a lot of energy, and they would not try to constrain me. Okay, you want to do that? Okay, where are you going? When do you want to go there?
Yeah.
Who are you going to go there with? Or
just to make sure you're safe.
Or they would just go with me, drop me there, know where I am. We would have like parties with my friends, stay until maybe midnight, and then my dad would come and pick me up, or my mom. And so yeah, it was, and that's how I knew that actually these things I don't want, these things I want.
So you could make a conscious decision that I want to do this.
After going to a nightclub the first time, like nah.
You just went the first time and that's it. You've never to be a nightclub ever.
No, I'm like no.
Interesting stuff. So would you in your later years, or maybe as you grow, go to a nightclub?
Well, I sincerely doubt it.
Yeah.
Yes. The noise, the heat.
That looks like that experience wasn't so good. But
no, it's not that it was not good, but it was actually fun.
Yeah.
To some level, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I just realized that this is not my kind of vibe, and it does not match with my values. Like it is not my idea of fun. Busting my ears with loud noise, people rubbing against each other in the dark, dancing. It was not my time. Like, well.
So the nerdy part of you kicked on.
Yeah, let people do that. It is not for me. Let me have fun somewhere else.
Interesting. So what did you start doing for fun, or what were you doing for fun that you found that, when, my nerdy thing, I'm not researching about different stuff, I can do this and feel, I'm okay.
Well, I was still reading. I still loved reading. I was reading electronic books. I was reading, talking with my friends. I enjoyed talking with my friends. I enjoyed having outdoor activities.
That is like hiking, walking, cycling.
Yeah, I at that time I was not hiking yet. No, I just enjoyed like still do, because I was still practicing martial arts. I was still doing taekwondo, and that was still fun for me. I tried learning an instrument.
Which ones?
Well, we all learn one instrument at school, but I tried playing around with piano. I've tried guitar. I've tried a couple of things.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you this. I'm here to meet one, good engineer or a nerd who has no interest in music in one or the other. I'm yet to meet that person. And even if they have not started like experimenting with these things, they are thinking about it like, what can I do with music? Right now, you can create music using code, right?
Yes.
So like music and nerding and, people who love sciences is something that I think maybe, I don't know if there's a study out there that can actually show the correlations of both, but yeah.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. That's why Steve Jobs said, Apple is a conglomerate of artists who just happen to code. That's why everything they create is around entertainment. It's entertainment first and everything else after. But that's besides the point. So you're in high school, you complete your high school. Did you perform or just, decided I want to move along?
Well, at that point, I wanted to study outside of the country. And
That is France, or which country did you have in mind?
yes, I was supposed to go and study in France. But then I was selected in a university, and then it just didn't pan out after that.
Why France?
Because it was the obvious choice. In my school, it was just like that. You study, you finish high school, you go to France. If you can.
So out of 100 students who graduated in a single year, how many of them went to France?
I cannot say. I don't know. Because we had both like the French program and the Senegalese program. I was doing the Senegalese program. I know some of them went, some of them didn't, because obviously it's not paid for by the government. It's the parents paying for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought there's a program like, you know what, you love your Senegalese, you finish your school. If you get this grade, please come.
Yeah, I think it still exists for really exceptional students, and I was not one of those. I was still just, okay.
Having good time and understanding.
Yes. I like this. Okay. Yeah. The other thing, let me just get the minimum grade required and move. That was just my mood.
So when you joined this university, you said it didn't pan out. What happened?
I didn't join actually the university because I did not get a visa. Funny enough.
To which university?
To France.
Oh, this was in France. I thought maybe these universities in Senegal.
No, they were in France. So I was accepted, but then I did not get the visa.
For whatever reason.
Like, okay, they don't give a reason to refuse.
Now that we're talking about these visas, do you think visa is something necessary in future? Because I don't think so.
I think visa is a way to measure the value of how do you consider citizens from a specific country. I think that's what it means. The visa is saying this is the kind of value that we have, or this is what type of value we believe you can bring to us. So
it's not a matter of what value you think you can.
Yeah, I think it's
more or less
what the
someone
visa
determines.
Yeah, like do we need you? Do we need? Okay, if we need you, then maybe we're going to make it easy for you and us to communicate. That's the way I see visa.
I mean, and that's why also, again, I feel like, okay, I can't control the continent. I can't say anything about our continent. But I feel like Africans, the 54 countries, for once, we don't need these boundaries. We don't need these visas because there's so much, growth that would come with that, which is much faster than we are right now. And we would unlock so many other opportunities by just saying, you know what, if I want to be in Cote d'Ivoire, I can just be there. There's no boundaries.
I agree. I agree. I think we should have a free, like what they have in the Schengen area, where people can actually move from one country.
Free trade zone?
Something like that. Person, machin, something. I don't know. But where actually, even if it's in smaller groups, okay, in this place, when you are from one of these countries, then you can move easily between, the borders without having too much trouble, because that's also making it easy for trade. It's also making it easy for collaboration, cooperation, business,
and even business scale.
And even business.
Yeah.
This just makes sense. In Africa, it should not be so hard to travel in Africa.
Yeah, our president,
as an African.
I know presidents listen about anything and everything that's happening, in their countries. Please, this is one thing that actually we need to change everything. Now that we have young guys moving everything around and creating opportunities, maybe consider now, doing away with these. I know it's not an easy process. It's not straightforward because there are stakeholders involved, but in one or the other, it's for, the interest of the citizens and Africans.
True.
Yeah. So now these bounces, you don't have the visa. What happens?
Then... so I had also applied to get into med school in Senegal, in Dakar. And then that year, they changed the regulations.
Only citizens can join?
No, not only, but they were only allowing 2 Ivorians.
The whole country?
Yeah, and I did not have the best grades.
Is it just one med school in...
It's one of the best in the whole Francophone West Africa.
What's the name of this university?
University Cheikh Anta Diop.
And that's where now you realize,
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not going there. Where am I going now?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I still have that computer science thing. You know, I kind of like computers. You know, let me see.
Yeah.
And I started looking at schools and all that. And I'm like, well, actually don't want to stay in the country. Let me check Cote d'Ivoire. Let me check Cote d'Ivoire. Are there things there? And I start looking, and then I find an interesting school. I just write to them an email. And then I'm like, okay, your school looks interesting. I want to study there.
Wait a minute. You're doing all this on your own?
Yes. I'm receiving help from one of my cousins who's like giving me advice. Oh, you can check this one out. And I was checking on my own. But yeah.
So
my parents were like, pick what you want to study.
They're not involved.
No, they would give me advices, and I was like, okay, have you thought of this? Did you consider this? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, actually no, let me go there and then check again. So they never forced me. Okay, you absolutely have to study this. No.
And that's how you get to Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes.
And
by the way, in the meantime, I used to come for like vacations, holidays every 2 years.
Oh, okay. How long did you stay for these vacations?
It was usually 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Summer vacations.
Yeah. So I like that. So there is summer in Ivory Coast.
I mean, I'm saying summer so that people understand that it's the gap that you have between the end of the year and then when you're supposed to start school again next year. You have that, those couple of weeks. That you
All
have.
the weeks, okay.
Yes, I would go and then stay there. Yeah. But summer, I mean, when I mean summer, you only have 2 things. Is it raining or it's hot?
Because when you say summer, I think for me, what kicks in like 2-3 months.
It's 2-3 months.
Which is actually not Christmas time, and it's really hot.
It's usually between June and late August, maybe beginning of September, because the schools start like early September, mid-September, or end of September, but it will start in September.
Yeah. Is there that in Senegal?
Yeah.
Besides the universities and colleges, just the primary school, and is there summer break?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, for us actually, we just do 1 month, 2. Like now after Corona, people go home for 3 days. Children are. I think this is the first time they will go for a long break. Whereby it will be like, I think, a month and a half, which is amazing because they have been back to back in the last 2 years. So therefore, it's good to know that, like, on this other side of the continent, there is summer break. There is all that break. Now, you go back now to Ivory Coast. Do you find it hard to adopt the education system? To catch up with the culture and everything, or Senegal culture and Ivory Coast culture is almost similar?
Well, they are a bit different, and obviously I can feel the difference because then I'm in university with students who I have not shared the same experiences with. I have no idea what kind of games they played as kids. And I speak differently. My vocabulary is different from theirs.
Okay.
Because, there's what you learn at school and then there's, the
how you're brought up. And
the way people, the youth speaks. I do not speak like them.
So is there like a dialect or Sheng, not Sheng?
Yes, we do have.
Here there is Sheng, but and also in Nigeria there is Pingin.
Yes.
Is there like that?
Yes, I think everywhere you have those words that
where
are
youth can communicate without adult interfering with
there's always that. There's always that. So it was we call it Nushi.
Nushi. You want to say a few things that what have you just said?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, I don't know what you just said, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, so you start now even adopting that, learning that.
Yes, I had to learn very quickly. But thankfully, I was not bad with languages, so I would get it very quickly. I did not have a very thick Senegalese accent because I was... growing up, I used to be able to switch between the Senegalese accent and the Ivorian accent. So it was, in terms of accent, it was not the hardest. But in terms of vocabulary, I had to adapt. I was like, okay, let me just see what these guys are doing. Yeah. And I would go out with my classmates. I would go the place where they would eat, I would eat there. Even if it didn't really match my taste, I'd really just wanted to know, okay, this is how they do it here. This is the places that they go. I wanted to adapt. So I was able to switch and...
So that even the mode operandi would be, like a local, and you wouldn't feel like, I'm a Senegalese is trying to adopt. Whereas
when I'm an Ivorian.
Yeah, I feel you. So the pressure was too much.
Not that much, but it's easier when you can blend in sometimes. Not always, but sometimes it's better.
Yeah. So you do computer science?
Yes, software engineering and networks.
Okay.
All
those are three
those,
things, right?
Okay.
What was the course? Was it software engineering, networks, or
both? Software engineering and networks. So we were also doing those 3G, 4G, IP, something, everything, all of it. Networks, local networks, wide area networks, all of those things. IP addresses, doing the math, building local networks. We would do all that.
And this is where now you are 6 ladies.
Yes. Yes.
Or should I use the acronym that you guys were given? Anyways,
yeah, boys with hair.
Did that motivate you, or
well, yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to prove a point around here.
Yes, because I was like, I get motivated when people tell me that I cannot do it because I'm a woman. That you can't do it because you're a woman. I get very excited.
That's the best motivation.
Yeah, I get excited.
Yeah.
Because I will show you. I will show you. I will be better than all of you. I will work on it. I will work hard.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
I mean,
if I'm not in front of all of you, men who are saying that I cannot do it, no.
So what you're saying to any lady out there, because this happens a lot consciously or subconsciously, is that, that should be a motivation, not a demotivation, or just to look, and say, maybe I can't. And also put yourself out there, because from what I'm hearing from you is that you not just take that as challenge, but also you ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I not doing right? Is it because I'm a woman? What do I need to know? And you started becoming inquisitive, even when you're in primary school. Actually, this was happening without maybe your knowledge or something, but you started this inquisitive, kind of culture or habits at the early stage. So at this level, how are you performing? Are you still
very good?
Yeah,
I'm the best.
You're like you're kicking asses.
Yes, because now it's something that I'm interested in.
Yeah,
and people are telling me that I cannot. But then we had our director of studies who was a woman with very long dreadlocks, smart, everything. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
I had a model.
Yeah,
so I'm like, hey, it is possible.
Yeah,
for me it was not an option. Like being good was not an option anymore. I had to be great.
Did you reach out to her once in a while to ask her what was the secret?
No. She was just like, I know that you're smart.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing. Because she could see I still have a really strong character.
So she also trusted you to really deliver?
Yes.
I see. So,
and I think it helped.
Yeah.
Being trusted.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
If someone is actually not doubting you, you feel like, hey, I actually can do it.
Yeah.
That person, very smart, is believing in me.
Yeah. I mean, I hear that. And actually, I think that's very important. Because even that what your parent did. Like, you want to go out, we'll take you out. What time what time am I supposed to pick you? And then at that point, you felt like, I'm trusted. I need to make the right decision. And also it's for me, not for them, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's something also, our listeners can pick from that. So how many years do you spend in these computer networks and software engineering?
I would say 5, 6, 7 years. Because I started being very active. People wanted to include me into the computer sciences club, English speaking club. And I think that's when I actually started doing more about getting more into leadership.
Okay.
People around me will pick me out and like, okay, we want you to lead us. Because I would get invested without even thinking about, I want to lead it. No. Or there's something happening. Okay, what can we do? What is the problem? How do you make it happen? So second year, I became the president of the computer science club. Very interesting, very challenging.
What does that mean, being a president?
It means a lot of things. It means that now you actually have people who are trusting you to deliver. They put their trust in you, so you actually have.
And
to
what does this
train.
delivery look like, if I may ask?
Well,
Yeah.
at the computer science club, basically my goal was to make sure that students had access to the professional world, that they were actually learning the tools that they will need to get into the market,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that they were good. If they were having issues in classes, they would just come, hey, we're having issues. If it was very common, then we organize activities where some of the good ones will help some of the weaker ones, and then we have discussions around that. We would bring in professionals in cybersecurity or in software engineering, come and talk to them.
Yeah.
We will go to hackathons, organize it, making sure that they are actually getting a taste of software engineering in real life,
Yeah.
in spite of just what we are learning at school, because sometimes there's a gap between the technologies that you learn in school and those that are actually being in use on the market.
Yes, a huge gap, and I like that you notice this at that level. So does this actually even also like motivate you to learn more before even you graduate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So which was your first language to learn in school?
In school or like outside of school?
In school.
In school, I think it was C.
C. Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you do like C, Java, kind of stuff?
Yes, it was C. I also did Pascal.
Oh, Pascal.
I did C.
You
I did
did Pascal.
Pascal. Yes, I did Visual Basic
Okay.
6.0.
Yeah.
I did C#, C++. Yeah,
And out of school?
I did. Obviously, web-based thing is PHP, JavaScript. I did a little bit of JavaScript, but not much. Python,
Yeah.
which I'm still using now.
Yeah.
I'm transitioning to other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the languages that I would use.
Yeah.
Obviously, managing databases, you also had those database management systems as well,
Yeah. And this is not your first time to be recognized as a leader, right? I understand. Is this the same time that you involved with Mandela Foundation?
The Mandela Washington Fellowship? No, that's later on.
Oh, okay. After school altogether?
During.
Oh, okay.
That is why actually I didn't finish my master quickly because I went for the program.
You did your masters
Yes.
after 6 years of undergrad? Or?
Undergrad was 3 years, but the way the school was organized, it took longer than that.
Okay.
So I think I spent 4 years doing undergrads. That's where I get involved in things, and then I meet people. I participate to Startup Weekend. I go to hackathons and actually learn about the tech ecosystem. I hear about GDGs. I hear about women tech makers and all of that.
Amazing stuff. And you have been involved with that in the whole country to an extent that you have influenced a whole movement in Ivory Coast.
Well...
Yeah. Mariam, we know these things. Yeah, and it's an amazing thing because at the end of the day, it goes even beyond what you could do as a person to an extent that even other ladies, other developers, other engineers felt like, this is doable, this is possible, right? And do you think developer communities, has this influence of changing the dynamics of how people learn, how people get engaged? And if it does, what are some of the things that you can share that made things work for you as a community leader?
Well, first, developers, what happens is when we have these communities, it's usually, we started as when we were still students, so we are still very eager. We're still frustrated. We have that strings, that energy. We want to make things happen. So when you have all of that fire, all of that energy, all of that positive attitude that we want to make things happen, and then developers meet and they start creating things. They start, creating bonds. And those are the people who, when they get into companies or when they have startups, they actually have a change because they are the one who are deciding the technologies.